I'd rather try things without medication.
Mm.
And if something helps, try it. And you have nothing to lose.
And everything has to gain. So,
Absolutely.
well, Sharon, thank you for taking the time to kind of share your story with our viewers and listeners about your journey. Why don't we start you off with introducing yourself, who you are, where you're from, and a little bit about what brought you here.
Okay, my name is Sharon Siegel. I'm 80 years young. And I came here because in 2008, I was diagnosed with Raynaud's disease. And it affects mostly my legs, not so much my hands. My hands will change different colors, but then they don't hurt or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been speaking to my doctors about my legs always bothering me. They feel stiff, they feel cold, and they keep saying to me, your circulation is good.
Mm-hmm.
So my last visit to my internist, I mentioned it to her and I said, I'd like to try physical therapy. So she said, fine. And that's how I came to empowerment. I started in February, and for 2 months, I did balance exercises, leg exercise, and I felt that my legs were getting a little stronger and my balance was better. And then Dr. Lee had mentioned something about trying a magnetic therapy and red light therapy. So I asked him what it was like, and he said, well, try it.
Mm-hmm.
So the story was we tried it, but I did have the red light therapy wrap at home, and I brought it in and showed it to him. And he said it was okay and that we should consider just the magnetic therapy. So for 6 weeks, twice a week, I did do the magnetic therapy. And what I found was that I have more life in my step.
Wow.
I wouldn't say it's 100% better, but at least it's more than 50% better.
That's
And it makes my life much easier.
Mm.
Also, I always had to wear high compression socks.
Yeah.
And even in the summer, you would see me with crop pants and high compress, and it was very warm.
Yes.
And I noticed that now I could wear ankle length,
Mm.
which is an improvement.
Yeah.
And also, the last 2 weeks in my house, I always wore socks, and I could go in my house now without socks. So I think it's a combination of the exercises here. My legs are getting stronger,
Mm-hmm.
and also the magnetic therapy. It may have helped,
Mm-hmm.
and the red light therapy. And I'm very pleased.
That's awesome. It's awesome. And we often see that it's usually a combination of
Right.
things and not in isolation.
And also, I wanted to mention that I did mention to Dr. M, which is one of the physical therapists here, that my back of my calves were like the skin was hanging. They needed to be tightened up. And she gave me exercises to do. And I noticed that they are starting. And I'm just so pleased.
They're a lot more firmer.
Yes.
Sounds like you've got some tone to them.
Right. It was like if when you lose a lot of weight in your skin, and I know as you get older, it does happen, but it was like to a degree that I didn't like.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed a slight difference.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And that's a very common thing when you sort of, as your skin is your largest part of your organs, and as you age, they need to be toned.
Yeah. And
They
it
need
also gets
growth.
very thin.
Exactly.
So I'm very pleased.
Love that.
I'm a pleased client.
Love that. What would you tell someone who is in a similar situation as you are and is looking at solutions, and have either been let down somewhere else or is, just nervous, skeptical, uncertain?
Right. It's worth it to try. I you reach a point in life that your life is important. And as you age, there are certain other things that come along with it. And if you could prevent something or help something, it's worth doing.
What has changed in your life since you started with us?
Okay. Well, I do go to a senior center, and I find that I will park my car further away. I don't mind the walking. I feel stronger doing things. I'm not as hesitant. I mean, if I'm walking up steps or something like that, I will hold on. But I find I'm not slower. I'm a
Nice.
little faster. Not speedy, but a little faster than I was.
That's
I
true.
have more confidence in my walk.
Love that. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Okay. I I'm one of the lucky people that I'm still able to drive, and I will assist some of my friends who don't drive. I
Yeah.
will help them and take them, and they'll lean on me to help them walk. And I feel good about that, that I
Love
could help people
Yeah.
and I'm still able to do that. I don't need a cane. I don't need a walker. What will be in years to come, one
Right.
doesn't know. But right now, I'm happy.
That's all. Looks like Shirley has to keep up with you.
Well, that's another story. But I do find I'm not as hesitant to walk a little further, to walk a little faster.
Mm,
I'm not looking down as much as I might have. So I'm just happy.
love that. Love that. If you didn't come here, what would life have been for you?
Well, if I didn't come here, I'd still be complaining to doctors, telling them. And in fact, I recently saw my cardiologist and I mentioned, she knows about me. We've been dealing with things. And I told her, and she says, my mother-in-law did that and she also improved.
What you know?
And then I saw my endocrinologist and I told him because I going to the doctors, I would tell him my legs bother me, like, what could we do? And I did take medication for a while, but I stopped it because the medication wasn't working and I stopped it. And I mentioned this to my endocrinologist and he says, he says, is it good for neuropathy? And I said, I did mention that to Dr. Lee, and he told me that someone did come here who was suffering from neuropathy, and she was on her feet all day. I think she was a hairdresser, and she was on her feet all day, and she saw an improvement. And now he said he's going to look into that too. So by word of mouth, that's how things spread.
So, absolutely. Anything else you think someone who might be in your situation should know as you're going through this?
Well, how I feel is I'd rather try things without medication.
Mm,
And if something helps, try it. And you have nothing to lose.
and everything has to gain. And what
Absolutely.
was the medication you would give?
Gabapen.
Yep.
I was on it for 2 years, and then I told my doctor I don't see any difference, and she weaned me off of it.
Yeah.
And I've been reading articles that it's not good for you and things like that. And if you could do it without medication, better off. And also you have to do it at home too. You just can't sit,
Yep.
so some of the exercises that I do here,
hmm
I do at home.
Love that. It's like I said, it's usually a combination of things.
Right,
Usually, because your
absolutely.
body responds really well, and often one kind of complements and builds on top of another, and that's where you kind of get the momentum over a
Absolutely.
long period of time, as you kind of see since you came around February and we're in June, so you're about 4 months
Hmm.
into those two combinations, and then you had a 12-week program,
A 6-week.
6-week program of the PEMF. That's exciting.
Yeah.
That's
I'm,
awesome.
like I said, I'm
I'm
happy.
glad to hear that.
I'm glad that, hopefully in the future it will keep on going, but I know where to come if I find that I need more help.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
No, I'm very pleased.